evening, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly show. My name is Dave Jesko. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put it out on Instagram today. I'm a mess today. I don't know what's happening, but I do know that it is 6 p.m. on Tuesday here on YouTube, something that didn't exist years ago. And it is nice to see everybody. I am looking forward to talking to all my friends in the chat room. I am here with Mike Suarez, and this is what we do. Hello, Mike. And this is what we do on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is fun for me, and I, just happy to be with everybody. Remember, this is the Comedy Cellar show. The Comedy Cellar is the best comedy club in town, in the country. And every day you can go down to the West Village in New York City and see the best comedy show you've ever seen. And if you don't do that, you can go to Las Vegas and see the best comedy show you've ever seen there. And that's saying something because Vegas always has really quality shows. So that's the story. Anywho, let's just open up with what I did last night. I went to the Nets game, the Brooklyn Nets game, which I haven't been to in exactly 2 years. Everything, Mike, is pretty much when you say you haven't done something, it's been 2 years. Now, it's been 2 years since I took the subway, which now I've been doing lately. I took the subway there because I can't take it anymore. It's just too cold. And it's just too easy to get to the Barclays Center by subway from my house.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. And even though it's gross and it's long, like I said, I think I told you I went to Jackson Heights 2 weeks ago by the subway for the first time. I almost made it to 2 years. I couldn't do it because it was 3 stops. It just couldn't be easier. So I took the subway. It's still gross and full of gross people, and I hate it. But it was just too easy. And I knew it's like flying. I hate flying. But once I'm there, I'm like, that was the smart thing to do. Now I'm in Florida, and it took me, 4 hours. If I drove, it would have been a nightmare. So screw it. And it was, I hadn't been there in 2 years. And the last time I was there, I was just thinking about this. I go with my friend Lee, but we sit next to, ironically, it's just a coincidence. My friend Lee has season tickets, and we sit next to this guy named Jono, who we've known for a long time. Coincidence that this guy who we've known for 30 years is right next to us, but in a better section. There's like a little divider, and he's there every game. He never misses a game. My friend Lee sometimes sells his tickets. This guy never misses a game, so it's always great. And he gets free food.
Oh, wow.
So he's always coming in like Newman from Seinfeld with that, all the stuff he can carry in a bag. But then he told me yesterday, he goes, they're getting mad because I'm getting too much food. And and usually he gives us his ticket so we can buy free food. So I was all in because, I was having some money problems. So I'm like, oh, good. At least I can get free food. And of course, he was like, yeah, they won't let me do it anymore. So I'm like, damn it. Because I love going to this Buffalo Bites place. That's actually the reason I like to go to the game. There's one kiosk, I guess, or something that has Buffalo Bites. And I've been getting them since the Nets came to town. And they come with French fries, which I don't care for. But then I put barbecue. That's making my mouth water. Think about it. I put barbecue sauce and relish on it. I know that sounds gross, but it's pretty good. But anyway, the thing is, I haven't been there in 2 years, and I remember the last time I went. I had gone to see this girl who was bartending somewhere, and I drove, and I went there, and my friend who I was sitting next to yesterday, he got COVID right after I saw him, and a real bad bout of it. And 2 years later, he still says he doesn't feel great.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't know what it was then. So he had it like it was March 9th or March 8th, when he got it, and he didn't know what it was yet. Unfortunately, he didn't go to the hospital because I told him, my friend Adam Schlesinger went to the hospital and they put him on a ventilator and he died. So I think if he had gone to the hospital, remember, they just didn't know what the diagnosis was then. It's nobody's fault. He might have died.
Right.
But I came back from that day feeling, I always thought I had COVID 2 years ago. But as you may know, or maybe you don't know, I was apparently bleaching my mask. I don't know whether you know this story, Mike. I was spraying my mask with bleach because I only had one mask. So I kept passing out, and nobody knew why. So I thought I had COVID.
Yeah, you're giving yourself chlorine poisoning.
Apparently. And I went to see a neurologist, and I had to go to the hospital. And then when I was talking about it on the podcast, I'm like, I keep washing my mask with bleach, so that's clean. And then somebody finally said, dude. And I'm like, of course. I was like, one time I remember I was with my friend. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it. No, it's okay now because we're pot is legal. With my friend Alina, and we were getting high, and then I was like, boy, that day really messed me up because I put back on the mask and I'm breathing in the fumes. Hi, Catalina. Hi, Scruffy Bones. And it just never occurred to me that that's what was killing me, and so I thought I had COVID. No, it is no bit, Angela. It's no bit. It was an embarrassment to me that somebody had to tell me, just like you, on a podcast in the chat room, said, dude, it's probably because you're bleaching your mask. And I'm like, nah. It's like, I was like, well, wait a minute now. I'm an idiot. I'm that stupid. There's no other way to put it. And I felt like an idiot. And of course, once I started getting I had, everybody had one mask. It was hard to get masks. So I just kept cleaning my mask. And then I finally bought 50 masks and it totally went away. It was completely from the bleaching. I just assumed if I let it dry for 12 hours and it always smelled good, I like the chlorine and I like the bleach smell. It just never occurred to me. That is what a stupid person I am. Oh, so I went to the Nets game last night and just totally, the guy sitting next to me had all the food. He bought all the food. So he had started with popcorn. I bought a beer for $16.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm like, screw it. I'll buy a beer because I'm going to get free food. But I wasn't able to get the buffalo bites for free, but I had popcorn. And then he goes, try these beef tacos. And then I had beef taco. And then his girlfriend came and he goes, hey, she wants to know if you guys want chicken parm. And we're like, yeah. So then I had chicken parm. And then at halftime, I went to get the buffalo bites. Mike, show that picture. Yeah, there's yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And there's my friend John. See, he's sitting. See the partition? He's in the better seats. And we're good. So we're on the 8th row. But you see the buffalo bites. I got a Pepsi.
Pepsi. Nice.
You can see the relish packages there too. You can take that off because I look horrible there. But yeah, it was very exciting. Try taking lipstick off the mask. Right, that's Aunt Judy. Right. Well, I don't mind telling you. Oh yeah, Scruffy, I Cosby'd myself. Yeah. That's so funny. So yeah, then I had the buffalo bites too, and then I was pretty full. But I love eating a lot at the game. I never used to, and then I just keep thinking of Newman in that Seinfeld episode when he's at the Super Bowl carrying all that stuff. I'm like, that's what I want to do. If you know, I might have mentioned it on this show, but definitely in my podcast, I was talking about when I went to one of the drive-in theaters during COVID, and I just bought all this food because it was fun to buy all the food. I'm like, I'll just buy all the food. I want to carry all the food to my car, but I don't have to eat it, but I ate it. Well, I was pretty high. So meanwhile, this is the best part. That guy who I just showed you the picture of, Jono, is his best friend is Steve Nash. Steve Nash, if you don't know, is the coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this is the best. Most of you know I have a gambling problem, so there was no way I wasn't going to bet on the game when I was there. But I didn't bet the Nets because I didn't trust them. They were bad. They were playing the Toronto Raptors. But I said, I'm going to bet this other bet where Steph Curry's brother will score 16 points because he's been scoring that many every day. His name is Seth Curry. So I'll bet that. And I'll take the Nets, but I have them plus 10 points, right? As I sit down, that guy Jono goes, oh, I just heard from Steve he's got COVID. He's not allowed to come to the game. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then they lost by 50 points.
Wow.
They were so distraught. I saw it in the paper today that their coach was out with COVID. The whole thing just fell apart. It was a disaster. It's just so funny. I have the worst luck with Gav. I sit down like, yeah, you hear Steve Nash has COVID. What? If I had known that, I would have bet the other team. and I would have had no problem with it. They're playing Toronto again tonight. Toronto beat the crap out of them. I should be taking Toronto, but I just get the feeling that's going to be bad too. And speaking of basketball, there's this guy Jared Allen. He plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he had to get an iPhone because he was in a chat room with his other teammates, and they didn't want anybody that had an Android. And I'm like, because I have an Android. And they're like, no, we don't like the other colors that an Android provides. And I'm like, I totally get that, but I hope, I know I need to get an iPhone because my Android stinks. It's not that it stinks. It's just, it doesn't play well with other people. I miss a lot of calls. I don't get a lot of texts when people clearly have said, look, I sent you this text. I was surprised you didn't write back. It's an Android to iPhone problem. If the whole world's got an iPhone, that's probably why I don't want it. Plus, the Android is kind of great. I can plug it into my computer and kind of manipulate it. And I like that about stuff because, I also have a PC. I don't have a Mac. I'm completely just not Mac friendly. And it's a problem with Aunt Judy because, she's got a whole bunch of Macs. And I try and help her. But yeah, I know, Angela, I just got to give in to Apple. I just can't do it. And it's not like I care about Apple or I think they're evil or anything. I can't explain it. With the PC and with an Android, I can do stuff, stuff you wouldn't want to know. With iPhone, you're just in on whatever they say, and I don't have to put up with that. It's funny that I even got a vaccine at all, because you'd think I'd be like one of those people that would be like, nobody can tell me what to do. But I decided to get it anyway, and because I'm smart. And yeah, let me just tell you this. We have one more picture, and it's funny. So obviously there's a war going on in the Ukraine, right? I don't know if you heard about this. Yeah. So it's really messed up. And the good news is it's a good war. It's not like Vietnam or something. It's a good war everybody can kind of sink their teeth into, because there's one villain, and it's Russia, and everyone else in the world is against it. So it's beautiful, right? There's no just Russia, and the people in Russia are against it. So it's all good. It's like World War II, where we all know the Germans are evil and they need to be beaten. And we're not saying that all Russians are bad. It's just this guy, and he's just not getting it, and everybody's in, right? So it's good. You hate casualties, but whatever. So I read the Post every Tuesday, especially when I'm gonna, I'm like, let's see what's going on. The Post is hilarious. And why do I get the Post? People always say, we talk about this all the time, because every day on page 3, there's a picture of a hot girl. Today was who was today dressed all in pink? It was pink. No, I'm just kidding. It was it Katy Perry? I don't know. It's always somebody gorgeous. There's always a picture of J-Lo. And a lot of times, I think I've told you this before, one of my best friends is Sarah Silverman. She's like, why do you get the Post? Why do you get that evil rag of a newspaper? I'm like, because a lot of times on page 3, there's a nice photo of you. And she goes, oh, you should probably continue getting the Post. She's so obvious, but you got to love that. So every page is the war, all these bloodied pictures and horrible stuff. But of course, page 3 still had put that picture up, Mike. See, you can always count on the Post. That's Kendall Jenner. And they're like, bears tale of camera anxiety, because that's important news when there's a war going on. And there it is, why I get the Post, ladies and gentlemen. And it's that simple, because they mix it up. And I need that in my life, where there is the hard-hitting news and pictures of just women. And is that being a pervert or just being a dude? It turns out I'm a straight man, even though I do a lot of gay stuff. Even though I'm pretty sure before I know it's Rachel Feinstein's husband's birthday today, and I think we're going out for dinner in a couple of days. And she's like, we're going to go to this steak place. And I go, is it one of the ones from Devil Wears Prada? Because it's inconsistent in the movie. And she's like, okay, I think I'm going to uninvite you, because we don't need to talk to firefighters about your obsession with the Devil Wears Prada. So it's confusing. Aunt Judy says, I get Post also, even in Jersey, just to see if I'm on ever paid. You see, that's why she's my favorite aunt. She's my only aunt, but I'm just saying, that's why I'm her favorite nephew. Well, actually, now I'm not her owner nephew. Her other nephew, as you may or may not know, owns the New Jersey Devils. So, so I might not be her favorite anymore. But up there, early on. He's just a nephew by marriage, so it's not blood related. Here's what I wanted to tell you before we move on today. We don't have any guests or anything because, we like doing this. We can always have guests, but I like it this way, don't you? Right, Mike? Me and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just tell you before. Well, no. Let me just tell you this. I thought I talked about this last week, and I really want to talk about this because this should be my career now, and this should be all of our careers. A guy broke. His name is Brendan Kelby, and last week he broke the Guinness record for stacking M&Ms. You heard me. And the record was 5. Only 5. And he did 6. And he is now in the Guinness Book of World Records for the M&M stacker. You have to hold it for 10 seconds, and it has to be plain M&Ms. Now, this seems like doing 7 stacked M&Ms could really be my call in life. I have a lot of free time. You just have to videotape yourself do it, and then instantly I can be in the Guinness Book of World Records. It just doesn't seem that difficult to stack 7 M&Ms. I mean, I think I should make that my goal. What do you guys think? Anyway, that's going to be my goal. Stacking M&Ms. I'm just going to spend the rest of my days. And then even though I won't have a job, I'll be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And how many people can say that? And if stacking M&Ms is a Guinness Book of World... Oh, there it is. Oh, thank you. Well, look at you. You're the best, Mike. You are the best. I mean, does that look that difficult? I saw the way he does it. He uses a towel because they're supposed to melt in your mouth and not in your hands. But apparently that is not the case. Oh, you know what, Barry? You're right. I was always the best with Skittles. Maybe that's the way I should go. I wonder if there is. I wonder if that's a thing. Why can't that be a Guinness Book of World Records? Stacking Skittles. I'm going to have to check on that. I guess that's all I want. I mean, I had a bunch of other stuff I wanted to talk about. I was going to say they just made a bunch of stuff for the NFL that they made their not American games that they're going to do. Like the Buccaneers are going to host the first ever game in Germany. Not happy about that. And the Cardinals are going to host the league's first game in Mexico since 2019. And the Saints, the Jaguars, and Packers are all going to play in London this year, which I like because I like doing the 9:30 a.m. stuff because then it's like living in LA where you get to see games at 10 in the morning. It's exciting. See, Catalina says Mike is the best. And she would be correct because the fact that you found that photo is amazing. I also just want to say that the new Batman movie, again, got a scathing review from our friend from the Post, Johnny Olazinski. Boy, he hated it. And he said it's like 3 hours long. I'm getting sick of movies that are that length. I don't understand why it's surprising in this day and age that they keep making long movies. I thought movies would now be 60 minutes at this point. It's very surprising that everything else is shorter and their attention spans are shorter, but movies they keep making longer and longer. And superhero movies, not like the bedroom. I can't think of I don't know, not like an Anthony Hopkins movie or something, like a superhero movies are 3 hours. Those movies should be 80 minutes.
Anthony Hopkins was in Thor.
Damn it. That's right. He played Thor's dad, right?
Yep.
You know what kind of Anthony Hopkins movies I'm talking about. And so I saw American Underdog the other day. I was up in the middle of the night and I really wanted to see it, which is the Kurt Warner movie, the ascendance of Kurt Warner, who was a quarterback for the Rams, won the Super Bowl. And I loved his story and I was like, oh, I'm excited. But it's the guy who played Shazam and it's not very good. Anna Paquin plays the wife and unfortunately, she's even too hot to play what this woman, because I was always curious, like, why is he in love with this woman? Because she was kind of gross. But I always remember, I thought she had some sort of power over him, but she didn't. And so I was waiting for that. Yeah, I know, Catalina. I know you watch Platoon. But Yeah, this movie, American Underdog, it was just okay. It wasn't good enough, but I had forgotten about arena football, and that's where he had come from. And they signed him to the Rams. And I remember the whole story when it first happened. And then he won the Super Bowl that year. It was, it is a great story, but the movie isn't good to what the story. Yes, see what I'm saying? That was his wife in, I think, 2000. When he won the Super Bowl. I don't know where he found her. I mean, you just don't see quarterbacks with wives like that a lot. That's
an arena football wife.
Exact. Well done again, Mike. Catalina's right. You are the best. That's exactly the right thing to say. That is an arena football wife. Exactly. But I thought she had some sort of Catholic church hold on him or something, but they say that's not what it was. But I don't know. I still think there's something weird going around. She has some sort of, I don't know. It's a very strange movie. Why don't we do a kind of what do you call it, house cleaning first? Where last week I'm going to share my screen, Mike.
Okay.
Last week we did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing, and unfortunately, we only picked 6, and we all picked a little bit more. As you can see, I have to take 3 out of mine. Mike has to take out 4. And you guys have to take 5 out, or to put in 6 total. And the weird part is that Mike Sauter, the guy who knows everything, did it perfect. He guessed 6 exactly, and I don't even think he was trying. It's unbelievable, right? So I'm just going to pick mine real quick. I'm going to pick 6. I have to take the ones where I say out. I already said out, but I said in for too many. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mike? Am I making that clear?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to pick 6, and I'm going to stick that Ben. Did I put it backwards? Oh, damn it. I did it wrong. Sorry. But I did it the opposite way. Beck, I'm going to say is in. I'm going to unfortunately say Pat Benatar's out. I did try to get her old manager in today and asked him to come and talk about working with her back when she used to work at the comedy club, Catch a Rising Star, in between comics. But he just had surgery. And now he's cancer free, but he's still. We'll have him on later. He's a lovely guy, Rick Newman, total legend. I'm going to go Duran Duran in. I'm going to skip that for a second. I'm going to skip this guy. I'm going to say Dolly Parton in, and I'm going to say Carly Simon in. So I have 2 more, and I'm going to say Eminem and this guy Fila, and that's my 6. Mike, what do you think?
I'm going to say Pat Benatar in. Devo in.
Nice.
Let's see. Dolly Parton in.
Yep. 3 more.
And I'm going to say Lionel Richie, Carly Simon, and Tribe Called Quest.
You already said Lionel Richie out.
Can I change it? No, too late.
Not.
Can't. Okay. Carly Simon, Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, and a Tribe Called Quest. Okay.
Yeah.
So one, 2, 3, 1 more.
Judas Priest.
Wow. You're nuts. No way. I like it though.
I don't know. It's just so indifferent.
Okay. Anonymous told us his or hers. I think it's anonymous. Are you a man or a woman? I don't mean to be rude. I can't tell sometimes. And not that it matters. I just wanted to say she or he. So, or now are they? Oh God, I'm so old. So wait, should we just put up anonymouses and let him or her pick?
Yeah, Scruffy seconded it.
Because Scruffy, I saw. Oh, and
Catalina.
All right, let me see what it says, Mike. I can't see it anymore. So what'd they say?
Pat Benatar.
Benatar in.
Carly Simon. The Eurythmics.
Oh God, I really hope that happens.
Lionel Richie. Duran Duran.
Thank you.
And Dolly Parton.
I noticed Mike didn't put Duran Duran. Jerk off.
Oh, that's what I messed up.
You messed up, dude. Who would you? Well, we could change that. Who would you take out?
Judas Priest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that. I'll put you in. Good. Thank you. because I'm all in on Duran Duran. I've done 2 podcasts now just talking about how great Duran Duran is. And last week, if you listen to Just Go in the City, this today that came out, I sing From a View to a Kill, trying to imitate Simon Le Bon. It's really lame. Anyway, we will go back to this in I guess April or whenever they announce it, and we'll see who came close. So now that we got that out of the way, yeah, I was trying to go. A fatal kiss is all we need. Dance into the I Barry, I played Wild Boys last because I was like, oh, I forgot about Wild Boys, and I'm like, oh, I always loved this song, and then I played it and I hadn't listened to it in 30 years. I'm like, oh, this song stinks. So I guess that's why nobody remembers it, even though Wild Boys. Yeah, I'm trying to get the Simon Le Bon kind of. No, yes, I don't know. Okay, there's 2 other things that I want to talk about today. So we're going to be all right. So here's the way the show I think will work. Next week we have an off week. We can do whatever we want. I wanted to bring Mike Sutter back because, as it turns out, we were talking about his Beatles. Like, he has Beatles presentations. He gave me a list of 10 songs we could choose from. Here's the problem. The presentations are like 25 minutes long, which is kind of, well, maybe we could do just kind of the 7 o'clock hour and have him do it. The problem is he needs to play videos and he needs to play music, which of course will be cut off on YouTube. But I don't think they can cut it off while we're live, right, Mike?
Correct. Just after the fact, it'll be taken out.
Right. So
you have to watch it live, basically.
So maybe we can have him do like the 25-minute presentation where I could give you the list of songs he gave me, and we can choose one. I wanted to choose. Actually, I can tell you right now what he chose. If you guys were interested to, he gave me a list. A Day in the Life, All You Need Is Love, Back in the USSR, Get Back, Hello Goodbye, Hey Jude, I Am the Walrus, Let It Be, Octopus's Garden, Revolution, Sgt. Pepper, Something, Strawberry Fields Forever, Why My Guitar Gently Weeps, and Yellow Submarine. I want to do Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band. That's the one I want to do. And I don't know. I mean, if you want, we could have him, after we do what we do. We can, I mean, 25 minutes it's a long, but we can extend the. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, we'll read. Mike Suarez, what do you think?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'd like to see what his presentation is. He says he uses video and audio, and I think I'd be interested in that. I think I'd be interested. He's very knowledgeable about it. I don't know. I kind of want to see. I was going to plan it a different way in the sense of making a video about it. I was going to have him on the podcast, but if it's video related, how can you do that, right?
Yep.
I don't know. I'll think about it, and maybe we'll do that next week. I'll let you know. I'm going to share my. So wait, no, I'm not going to do it yet. So next week we'll maybe do that or something. The week after that, we have March Madness coming, so we'll make some picks, which are always is fun. See where we are, and then the next week, I think we'll have our Oscar picks, which of course I'm angry about because I think I only saw one of the movies, so I gotta see them all. There's like 9. In fact, what I wanted to do, they had the SAG Awards. I hate every other award show. I hate it, but the SAG Awards did make a couple of choices that I was very happy about. That, I get very emotional about what they need to pick, as you can see with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to be very angry if Duran Duran doesn't get any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to share my screen, Mike.
All right.
With this. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just going to, for a second, just so you can see what's happening in the world, so we can get set up for the Oscar thing. Will Smith won for playing with the Venus and Serena sisters' father, Who cares? This seems so stupid anyway. This Javier Bardem, he should have won. He was amazing in that. I got to see the other ones. I don't like Denzel Washington. Everybody thinks that's racist for me to say. I just think he's boring. So I'm not going to watch Macbeth. I don't want to see a lot of these stuff. I like Jessica Chastain a lot, but do I want to see a movie on Tammy Faye? I don't know. I don't give a shit about the House of Gucci, so I really just don't care. And Nicole Kidman was good, but she doesn't deserve to even be nominated. It was so stupid. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I just can't believe Ben Affleck was even nominated for anything. I hate him so much. Who the hell? I've never heard of this guy in my life. Coda, I guess it's something we got to see. This West Side Story, I can't wait not to see. I'm not seeing it. It's nominated for Best Picture. I just don't care. I'm not even allowed to say this woman's name from passing. They've told me I'm not allowed to say that anymore. I'm wonderful that Anonymous, really? Listen, I'll watch it. I just don't care about movies like that. I love that this guy won for Squid Game. Mike, doesn't that make you happy?
It does.
Yes. He was amazing. And that girl won too.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that great? When I saw, and I hate that, and I hate the ones that are canceled now, the Golden Globes, because I just hate the TV stuff. I just don't care. I only like the Oscars. But yet it made me really happy that these guys won because they were really terrific, right?
Yeah,
they were like that good.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's happy with this. I was mad about this because I want the Steve Martin or Martin Short to win for Only Murders in the Building. They were terrific, but I have not seen Ted Lasso. And everybody gets angry about that about me. This one, I really couldn't care less. I don't watch it, but I guess it's supposed to. And this made me so happy. I don't want to see Dope Sick because everybody says it's sad, but I love Michael Keaton. And when he wins, it makes me really happy. And Squid Game won for stunt ensemble in a TV series, which I don't care about, but I do care that James Bond won for stunt people. So that all, makes my day. But I'm just setting up for when we do have to do the Oscars because, good. It says Ben Affleck also got a Razzie nom for the very same movie. Awesome. They feel the way I do. Ben Affleck is the worst. Catalina, you didn't like the Squid Game? Boy, I thought that was something else. How can you say Succession was robbed? They won, the SAG thing is just like cast. They don't announce Best Picture or anything. Catalina. We'll talk. I'll tell you which Bond movie to see first. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. Some of them don't hold up. Some of them are hilarious because they don't hold up. But I've seen every Bond movie ever, and I worship them all. No, Anonymous, I wasn't saying that Jessica Chastain's performance wasn't awesome. I like her, and I think she's a really good actress. I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm going to see a lot of these movies so then I can make a decision. But be prepared. I think that's in 3 weeks. We got to make those picks, and we'll make Razzie picks too for our tiebreaker. So, yeah. So it being 6:30, why don't we? By the way, I'm pretty sure this is the case. If you are, for some reason, even though we have people from all over the world, if you are in New Jersey this week, by the Meadowlands, my favorite place in the whole world, where I used to do all my gambling, but now I can do it at home. I will be opening for Rachel Feinstein at Bananas Comedy Club at the Rutherford Hotel and Casino. It's not a casino. It's just a hotel by the Meadowlands. So it's my happy place. So I'm going to be hilarious because I'm going to be in a really good mood just being in that area. I love Secaucus. I don't know why. So I will be opening for Rachel Feinstein this weekend at Bananas Comedy Club. If for some reason you're Anonymous, I haven't seen Power of the Dog yet, but I guess oh, really? You say Catalina was not good, huh? Oh, interesting. See, that's the one I thought maybe I got to see it because somehow Kirsten Dunst is nominated. I mean, that girl's the worst actress I've ever seen in my life, even though Bring It On is one of the best movies I've ever seen. But, I know, Anonymous, I'm the only person that likes Secaucus. I think there's something about that. I like that it's right outside the city, so you can see the skyline of the city, but it's also like wide open. And I loved that parking lot for a long time. I had some of my best times just in that parking lot. Now I hate it. But you were flashed by Benedict Cumberbatch, Catalina? He was in Chile. No, Anonymous. I like Kirsten Dunst. I just don't think she's a good actress, but I love her in Spider-Man and, of course, Bring It On. Everybody knows I like Bring It On. Okay, let's do the news photos. I'm going to share my screen once again. We can take our time with these because we got plenty of time today. And let's see what's happening in the world today. So one would think that this picture was, the Ukraine or Russia, because it looks like that, but it's those stupid Canadians in Ottawa who are complaining, the truck drivers are complaining about COVID mandates because they don't want to get vaccinated. It's exactly what I was talking about. I'm like, just get vaccinated. It should be so much easier. And that's what you're thinking. There's a war going on. And these guys are like, no, I don't want to get vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? And they're making all this trouble. But doesn't it look like it's Russia, Mike? I thought it was.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, it's in Canada. And they just look stupid. They look stupid because of what's going on in Russia, which is this in the Ukraine, And these guys just, I don't want to take the vaccine. And then it's like they're bringing in all these tankers by train to the Ukraine to kill everybody there. But I don't want to take the vaccine. Whatever. This is the hottest girl I've ever seen. She's Ukrainian, and she's a media relations specialist. Her name is Alyssa. And as you know, a lot of the Ukrainian citizens are taking up arms and practicing, and they're going to fight for their country. And it's fantastic. And this girl's 38 years old. She looks great. And the only reason I brought this picture up is because you always look stupid when you're in a picture like that. That can come back to haunt you. Now, it won't come back to haunt her because we know why she's taking up arms. But it just reminded me of this absolute idiot, Hannah Gutierrez, who murdered that cinematographer technically and because she's a moron and was taking pictures like this and didn't know how to decide a real bullet from a fake one, and subsequently murdered that cinematographer. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you take a picture like this, and that's why nobody's seen her since, you just look stupid. I mean, this is her too. So she's like, look how cool I am. I put blanks in people's guns. No, see, this is the real deal. Don't be taking pictures like this because you're not cool, because you couldn't decipher a real bullet from a dummy bullet and you shouldn't have had that job and you murdered somebody. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, she should be on trial, Barry, right? She'll probably go to trial. She's stupid. She shouldn't have been working there. I think she's somebody's daughter. But that picture just looks so stupid now. And that's what I was saying. This is a kid who's in a bomb shelter in Kiev, and he has his tablet. And I was just thinking, like, well, first of all, that bomb shelter looks awesome. It looks very soothing. And he has his tablet. And let's never forget that she never had a tablet. She had a different kind of tablet. And this bomb shelter seems pretty cool. I mean, by comparison, I'm just saying, no, Catalina, I'm not on. Well, right, Angela. She was wearing a mask. That's true. We'll give her that. And so, right. So there's protesters going on all the time. Oh, Catalina, she says I should check on the Reddit idiots with guns. That's a great idea, right? Yeah, I will. I will check that out. This is protesters in Kathmandu, as we talked about last week. Looks pretty serious. We know they're fighting for their infrastructure money because it's been mishandled. And these are protesters in Russia protesting the war that they're doing in the Ukraine because they don't want to be part of this senseless killing and all this stuff. And while this is going on, here's Princess Kate at the Lego Play Lab in Denmark, I think. Yay! This is the royal family that just doesn't get it. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, yeah, this is what's going on in the world. But these are the people who are technically in charge of. We know they're not, but I know what is she supposed to be doing. But I don't know. There was something that I was just like, what's happening? Oh, right, Anonymous. You're right. I should post my picture from the shooting range. You're right. Oh, Barry, they're on to us. I know. That's right. I should have posted my picture of the shooting range. Yeah, but then we were shooting stuff just in case it comes here. I was preparing. And we're going to bring in Barry Cortman, and he's going to be, this guy knows how to shoot a rifle. He'll be good if in case it comes here. These are Trump supporters in Orlando on Thursday. And normally I would say, like, see, this is what they look like. But this girl looks like she doesn't belong. I didn't know they had hot girls doing Trump supporting. And how did they decide she'd be wearing the M? I don't think I could ever do this, no matter who I liked. Unless it was the Devils, of course. And then it would be shirtless. So these women are celebrating in Colombia because they said Colombia, more advanced than the U.S. in the sense they ruled to partially decriminalize abortion on Monday. And these women are celebrating to partially, but decriminalize abortion, which, of course, should be the case everywhere. But then, of course, all these storks had a meeting, and they're like, yeah, well, what are we going to do? I've never seen live storks before. I didn't know that was a thing, but they're all meeting because they're like, we got to talk about this abortion issue. It's ruining our business. And this is for Catalina. Catalina, do you want to explain to us why all these dead anchovies washed up on the shores in Chile? We need your why dead anchovies are washing up. Can you let us know why just anchovies? I didn't even know anchovies. I thought anchovies were a fake fish that just and quite frankly, you know what you say they go on pizza. Mike, have you ever met anybody that put anchovies on pizza?
No.
Me neither. When did people put anchovies on pizza? In the 70s? I don't even think that's... They still have it listed in when you could put toppings on, but I've never known anybody to put anchovies on a pizza. I do like anchovies on a Caesar salad, but they have to be very small. Wait, Aunt Judy, you like anchovies on pizza? Or are you talking about something else? Rachel from Friends likes anchovies on a pizza. Yeah, but really? That's because the writers were old. They were like, that's probably what it is. I would like anchovy, but they have to be very. You can't have a lot of anchovies; they're so salty, and they just have to be like. That's why on a Caesar salad, they're like sprinkled in. I like them, but you can't have like. My dad just heard you say that, and he is dying laughing. Oh, well, if you find out why all these anchovies are showing up on shore, they look delicious. So I was just curious, and I always put anytime I see anything from Chile, obviously we post it to see if Catalina can give us a reason of why this is happening. Yes, Barry, I prefer whitefish as well. Again, while all this is going on, this guy Austin Cindric just won the Daytona 500. Did any of us know that was even happening? Guy going around in circles in his car, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the king of the world." I feel like I could do this with no training. I put it to you, NASCAR, that Dave Juskow could get into a car and do whatever these guys do. All right, can I do 500 laps? No, but I bet I could do 100 laps and be in the running, because that's how undifficult I believe it is racing around in a circle. I'm putting the challenge to all of you. What do you think of that? Thank you. Yeah. When meanwhile, this guy is a worker who's got to climb up a tower and remove ice from the electric lines in China. And this guy's celebrating because he ran around in a circle 500 times in a car. I don't know. That kind of stuff drives me nuts. You're saying is a Caesar salad with anchovies called an aviator? I don't know. Maybe that's in Canada. It's the it. Mostly Caesar salads are supposed to have anchovies in them. By the way, if you are ever if you suffer from the frozen penis, nice. Karina, right? Remember that from last week? The guy with the fucking frozen penis. Again, if you have a frozen penis twice, you're an idiot. Just know your penis gets cold when it's cold weather. Fix it.
Yeah, cold cocked.
What?
Yeah, cold cocked.
Nice. Cold cocked was the answer we were looking for. Nice. Anchovies and Jack Daniels, Aunt Judy. Yipes. That is disgusting. If you're ever in New York City, there's a place, Pietro. And I know you're going to want to look this up because I've talked about it on the podcast. Pietro. It's on 2nd Avenue and 43rd Street. I think you can go online and watch them make. They're known for their Caesar salads. And it's one of those things where my friend Kenny, you know how some people tell you like, oh, you've got to try this there. Like if I bring you to have the wings, they better be the best wings, right? He said they're known for their Caesar salads. He brought me there. We had a Caesar salad. It was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. And they have a video of them making it. So Catalina just said she checked and the anchovies might have died because of contamination in the water. Exactly. Well, we figured, unfortunately, that's what it was. That's not good for you in Chile. There's so much contamination and all the water, all those oil spills, all that nonsense. Debbie Downer. Well, it's not her fault, Anonymous. It's my fault. I asked her to check. So probably the obvious answer. Look at these idiots. Snow yoga with, I don't know what they're called, alpacas, but they're llamas. They're in the llama family.
Alpacas.
What?
Alpacas.
How did you know that?
I just know what they are.
Oh, I've never heard of them, but I think they're in the llama family.
Mm-hmm.
So these idiots in Canada do snow yoga with these animals. I don't know. I mean, look at this. Look, what, whose idea? Why? Oh, you get to do yoga with the alcapet, or what? Who came up with that? Why? Look at this one. He's like, what's going on here? What is this? Alpaca Baja. Oh, I'm like, looking. He's like, why are they doing this? What is, I mean, I don't think nobody's hurting anybody or anything. It's just like, what the hell's the matter with these humans? I know. Don't they look great? They look cute as hell. I got to say, I just don't know whether, are they domesticated? It'd be funny to have one running in my house. In Kentucky, there's a few, Marcy says there's a few places that sell blankets, hats, and socks from their fur. Oh, they do look awesome. They just look so, people who do yoga are just, I mean, I was doing yoga during COVID and I get it, but sometimes they take it to this level, which just doesn't need to be had. They are cute and fluffy. So speaking of which, this is a dog. I like showing pictures of animals. His name is Finn. He's in Northern Ireland enjoying the snow. That's the only reason I put it in. I love pictures of animals that are taken cool. Look at him. He's jumping in the air. He's so cute. He's a Springer Spaniel, or as I call him, a Jerry Springer Spaniel. And unfortunately, his arch enemy is this new cyber dog. This guy's taking this new cyber dog for a walk. It's like right out of a Simpsons episode. Now, you tell me if, well, this is what they are in China. They're cold, and in Beijing at least. He's walking a cyber dog. Is that really? No. I mean, do I want a cyber dog? Yes, because I want to have a conversation with my dog. Just like I always said my cat would talk. When I'd come in, I would pretend like my cat was, would talk, and I'd be like, Selena, I'm home. And I want my cat to be like, well, you missed what's going on CNN today. Like my cat has this wonderful speaking voice. By the way, you missed an excellent episode of Bewitched tonight. Why not? I usually do a yoga with my cat. Well, no, I always used to do yoga with my cat. That's different. It's just, and so this is you ready for this? This is in Italy last week at a carnival parade. And for some reason, they have a paper mache float of Joe Biden. And they call it Buffalo Biden. It's not even an insult. It's like, I don't think it is. Why does Italy love Joe Biden? I can understand if the president was Italian. Pretty sure Joe Biden's not Italian. Could make a case if we had the first Italian president and Italy wanted to do something like that, but this just doesn't add up at all. Although, is that in the background? Is that Putin? What do they just have all the?
Yeah, that's Putin.
Why would? And there's Trump in the bottom. I didn't even notice that before.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little Trumps.
Yeah. So they're making fun of us. Okay,
Probably.
That makes sense. All right, that I can deal with. Because it seemed like they were just. And what do they have? A Sam Kinison doll here? What is this? Yeah, Italy. It looks like a fun parade. And I hate parades.
It's a giant coronavirus.
Oh, why didn't I get that? You know why? I guess I just don't want to think about it. I hated during Corona. Remember all the news shows? They'd have that picture, and you're like, it looks pretty, but it's why do I want? I don't want to see that ever again. And speaking of parades that just nobody's interested in, this is an inflatable Harlequin doll that was in that was supposed to be in Venezuela. I don't know what happened there. That's what I like these kind of pictures because I'd like to know the backstory. Did he just fall off the parade route and nobody cared? I remember before the plague, you could find this guy who had an alpaca. I can't pronounce it, Mike.
Alpaca.
And would let you take a photo with it for a few bucks. So, but how can they have alpacas in Chile? Or I'm pronouncing that correctly now, right? Because I thought they were a cold climate animal. Or does Chile have snow?
In the mountains.
Yeah, right. Barry goes, I'd love to see a chalk outline around the clown. Exactly. Right? It's so stupid. So, okay. So this is Fashion Week in Milan just 4 days ago. Fashion Week. This woman is walking down the runway with now, I don't know. We all know that Milan is like, you want to go to Fashion Week. I mean, even I would want to go to Fashion Week. Oh, Chile has winter. It's just off season for us.
Yeah. Also, alpacas are from South America. I
did not know that. I really didn't know that. I didn't think anything with that much fur would be from South America. I guess I just no, she says there's no snow. Catalina says. Oh, not just because I wore that to work today. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? So would I love to go to the fashion show, Fashion Week in Milan? Of course you would, because it's like a staple of greatness. Just like I've been to Fashion Week in New York, and it's exciting because you're part of the Fashion Week. But I could have made this. I could have. They should just have. Here's the Dave Juskow collection. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen until I saw this.
That's just from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, right? That's what it seems like. Who's wearing that to a wedding or something? I mean, like, where are you going to wear that? How is that Fashion Week? I thought Fashion Week was to be like, here's the new styles. I mean, this is out there, man. It's out there. That's my Sammy Davis Jr. for some reason. Yeah, right, Marcy? What the fuck? Fashion Week is hilarious. But let's face it. If I was sitting there in the audience, I would be like, I am so glad I'm here. But the fact of the matter is they should have a Juskow collection, and I should just come up with this kind of stuff that no person could possibly wear out. Now, how's she going to drive home with that? And this was in London Fashion Week 2 weeks ago. So I don't know what is happening. All I know that obviously I could have done this one because I would have taken it directly from this. Doc Ock. That's obviously how they got. Somebody was watching Spider-Man, like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
This is so stupid. What are they going to tell us? So like, well, Juskow, you don't know anything about fashion. I'm like, no, nobody knows anything about fashion.
I know who should fight Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I don't. So this is. These are volunteers who are on a trolley. That is a mobile library. It's in the Philippines. It's a mobile library that goes through the towns of Chile. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but who's going to want to stop and read a book when obviously they're at a zoo or something, the nicest, most quaint place ever, where you're just like, but I have all this. Why would I? Maybe I could read a book here, I guess, but it's like, why are they bringing? And then I saw the next photo and I'm like, oh, I see. They have to go through these little, it's not all in the Philippines like this beautiful, I guess it's like this, where they need to bring the books. And it's funny, I remember a bookmobile as a kid that it would come around. It was really exciting. And but it's just like a small bookmobile on tracks. I kind of like, I would totally run that bookmobile. I would like that to be my job. But even though it looks like it's kind of like poor, it's kind of fun to have tracks and a monorail. Like, and it still looks beautiful there. I love that they're bringing a bookmobile everywhere. All right, so
Whoa.
you'll like this. First, I thought this was from a new movie. Like, it looked like up here they were on like a jetpack, like a Star Wars thing, right, Mike?
Yeah.
But they're actually firefighters putting out a fire. But don't feel bad. This was a place, it's in Michigan, Bloomfield, Michigan. It's at Oakland Hills Country Club. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I bet you, and I was right. I looked it up. This is a place that used to be restricted. No blacks, no Jews. They didn't even let Catholics in. So I'm not exactly sure who they let in if they don't live. And they never had to consider, even when this was built, it was unquestionable that there'd be black membership at all. Because it would have been unthinkable. Sons of members were embraced, but not daughters. And divorce spelled expulsion for the member's ex-wife. And unmarried women needed not apply. So this place should have been burnt down a long time ago. But you have to respect that they hate everyone. Blacks, Jews, women, unmarried women. So good riddance to this fucking country club that should have been burned down years ago. I mean, if we're doing this cancel culture, how does this stay in business? I don't know. And this again, I love showing pictures of animals. I love this horse. It's a horse behind a wall in Western France. And as soon as I saw this picture, I'm just like, that horse is hilarious. It looks like it's about to say something. Right? It looks like it's peeking its head out and it's about to say something. So I immediately thought of Mr. Ed, one of the funniest episodes ever, when he was writing a letter to Dear Abby. And cause I know why. He was mad because he had this big party and, his owner told him to keep it down. So he tried to get his own bachelor pad. And he wrote to Dear Abby and said, do you think I should have my own bachelor pad? One of the greatest Mr. Ed episodes of all time. And Mr. Ed was always funny when he was wearing glasses and using a typewriter. I mean, please, folks. It lasted like 6 seasons. But here's the thing I did not know. And Mike, you tell me if you knew this. I do not remember this episode, or maybe as a kid I didn't understand. Did you know Clint Eastwood was in an episode of Mr. Ed?
No, I didn't know that.
In the second season. Not just like the later years. Apparently he was on another CBS show, I guess Rawhide.
Mm-hmm.
Before he was Clint Eastwood, he was, but yeah, he's on. Look at guest star Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood on Mr. Ed. How is that not more known? It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, doesn't he look amazing? Wait, you're saying the horse looks amazing or Clint Eastwood? Because Clint Eastwood looks amazing. Yeah, I love it. Look at that. I don't know why. Seeing his name, guest star Clint Eastwood, I really thought somebody photoshopped it. I thought for sure it was Photoshop, but I looked it up. It's a real episode.
It's the one where he fights a horse.
Yeah, I don't actually know what happens, but he plays Clint Eastwood. It's called Clint Eastwood Meets Mr. Ed. So he was already a star in 1962. And I just put this one in. It's in Uruguay again, which I believe we've decided was on the other side of Chile, South America. And I love when they have these lightning strikes. And I almost wish this was in Russia and the Ukraine, because if this was like, in the 800s, the war would have stopped because they would have thought God was angry. Ooh, we should stop. God does not like this, because that's what that says. If you, didn't know about science. Am I right, Mike?
You are.
Thank you. And those were our news photos of the day.
Catalina brought up Paint Your Wagon.
That's the Clint Eastwood movie?
The musical with him and Lee Majors. Not Lee Majors?
Lee Majors.
No,
Wait,
no, the other guy.
Well, Lee Marvin?
Lee Marvin.
They're in a musical?
Yeah, Paint Your Wagon.
I don't know about that. I mean, I've heard of Paint Your Wagon. I didn't know Clint Eastwood was in it.
Yeah.
He's in a musical.
Yeah, they are in a musical.
He does sing the end of Gran Torino at the end. of that movie. Gran Torino. I just watched Play Misty for Me the other day. That's a really fun movie. That's with the woman who just died. The one who was in Arrested Development. Boy, is she good in that. Holy shit. She's terrifying. That's a really, I'd never seen that movie before. It was really good. And Barry Corbin's like, horse has got to know his limitations. Yeah, Anonymous. Yeah, he writes all his scores of music. Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? Oh, yeah, Aunt Judy. I was talking about Sally Kellerman on my podcast this week because I obviously we know her from Back to School. How about Fantasyland? I played the whole scene with the guys. Where would we build our structure? Like, how about Fantasyland? Oh, that whole scene. We are talking about a legitimate business practice. Oh, Philip. That's all she says throughout that whole movie. Oh, Philip. They're just letting off steam. But she's also good in the original MASH. She plays the original Hot Lips Houlihan. And what I was talking about on my podcast was that I used to go out with this girl. She was my girlfriend. And she was a photographer. And she used to photograph Sally Kellerman while she was doing this one-person show when she was older. Because she used to sing in a sultry voice, kind of the way like Clint Eastwood had, not a great voice, but Gran Torino. And she used to sing, and she just had her one woman show. It was so weird. She would tell me, she goes like, all she just keeps saying the whole time is like, "Welcome to the show, welcome to the show." It's and she's like, it scared the hell out of us and the crew. So anyway, but now she's dead. But she was brilliant in Back to School. We all know that. And, she had to make out with Rodney Dangerfield. Now, that's acting. I hope nobody ever says that about me. Because, who used to say that is the guy who used to have to go out with, in Cheers, he died too. Jay Thomas used to have to say that. He's like, you want to talk about acting? I had to make out with Rhea Perlman. And he used to say that on Howard all the time. Anyway, that's mean. But yes, oh my God. Oh, right. And Judy, you watch Perry Mason for 3 hours. Well, I obviously only watch MeTV after 10 o'clock when Hogan's Heroes is on. Everybody knows that. Oh, and I also watched it this morning because that's when they have cartoons on. And I watched it last night, too, because they had a really good Daffy Duck one. As you know, as I've said on this podcast, as a joke, one of my friends used to say, one of the greatest black actors of our time. I have to repeat it because it's funny every time.
Perry Mason probably guest starred on Mr. Red 2 at one point.
You think so?
Probably. Wouldn't doubt it.
I can't remember. I was looking up some of the plots for it. They're really funny, like when Mr. Ed goes to college and all that kind of stuff. So, but they all were around at that time in the 60s. TV sucked back then. Don't think it was good. It's so much better now. That's all we had to watch. We didn't have a choice. So there was so much horrible and so much greatness. I mean, I love the Brady Bunch from now until the end of time, but that's all there was. No, nobody looked as good as Clint Eastwood. He is the man. He's still really cool. Well, anyway, that's our show for tonight. I just cannot thank everybody in the chat room enough, and of course Mike Suarez, obviously, but you guys make this so much fun. We don't need guests. Guests are wonderful, and they're interesting and cool, but I love just doing it just like this with Mike and me and you guys. It really, really just makes my day. It's so much fun, and it's like having a guest, and it's just great to have everybody here. That's why we just kept doing the show, because we were all having a good time, right? Yeah. 6 o'clock on Tuesdays. You can't go wrong. So that all being said, remember, this is brought to you by the Comedy Cellar. So if you are ever in New York, you got to come to see the Comedy Cellar shows. Actually, I will be at the Comedy Cellar opening for Marina Franklin, I believe on March 31st. Which I think is either a Wednesday or Thursday. So if you're in town, that's a good deal for me. And of course, Marina is amazing. But I will also be opening for Rachel Feinstein this weekend at Bananas Comedy Club. I will let you know how that goes, because it's always hilarious. Because sometimes I do good, but a lot of times I don't. And that's funny too. Later, not at that moment so much, but later it's funny because Rachel will come on and be like, well, stop talking about movies no one's ever heard of, because she's going to get so angry at me. I remember, Mike, she was getting so angry at the fact that I was talking about Aaron Brockovich. Now my material is much more sophisticated. I talked about Back to the Future 2, Grease, and I think it's more just more movie references. So she's gonna love it. But that's so. Mike, are you? I know you're not performing. You're in New York, but you're going back to Texas. Where are you going to be?
The 10th through the 12th, I'll be at the Houston Improv with Big J. Okerson.
Awesome.
The 19th, I'll be in Austin performing. I forget the name of the place. The 24th through 26th, I'll be at Laugh Out Loud in San Antonio with Giannis Papas. And I think the 6th through the 9th, I'll be with Sean Donnelly at the Plano House of Comedy.
See, I feel like we could. You didn't know the name of the place in Austin, but judging by all the names you mentioned, we can just call it. It's like, is it called the Ha Ha Lounge? We can probably make. I'll be at Chuckles in Austin. It's one of those. So, that's great about the Houston Improv. Those improvs are kind of great and they're legendary. So, good work, Mike. And yes, thanks again, Mike, for your amazing production work. And thank all you guys in the chat room. It is just really great every week. And we will definitely see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. right here, where we might extend to the 7 o'clock hour and have Mike Sutter do the Beatles presentation. Is that weird? That'll be cool, right?
Or will be cool.
I want to see what it is.
Yeah.
So obviously you can tune out if you don't like it, but I want to see him do Sgt. Pepper. But DM me tonight if maybe I'll see other songs that you guys want to do and I'll pick the consensus. So we'll try it next week.
All right.
Anyway, everybody, great time tonight. Have a great week and stay classy. It's my new. Okay. Good night, everybody.